Welcome to Numbers World. Today we are going to solve past papers of ICATS Mathematics Contest of year 2018 for grade 5 and 6. Question number 1. Use the number pattern below to answer the question, which statement about the number pattern is true? Before checking the options, we will find out the rule of the pattern. If we subtract 24 out of 41, the difference is equal to 17. Similarly, if we subtract the two consecutive numbers, the difference is 17 between them. Option A is the rule is add 3 to the second digit. So the second digit of 24 is 2. If we add 3 into 2, the answer should be 54. But here we have 41. So option A is incorrect. Option B is the rule is add 23 to the last number. If we add 23 into 24, the next number should be 47. But here we have 41 as our next number. So option B is also incorrect. Option C is an even number is added to find the next number. So that is not correct because we can clearly see the 17 is not an even number. The last option is an odd number is added to find the next number. So that is the correct one because 17 is an odd number which is added to the previous number to get the next one. Question number 2, Kara went running 3 times this week. Each time she ran 2.5 miles. Which number line has point K graphed so that it best represents the total distance Kara ran in miles? So she ran 3 times this week, so there should be 3 jumps on the number lines. But in option A and C, there are only 2 jumps, so these 2 options are incorrect. She ran 2.5 miles each time, so we can add 2.5 3 times, like 2.5 plus 2.5 is equal to 5, and 5 plus 2.5 is equal to 7.5. So option D is representing the correct data. Like after her first run, she has covered 2.5 miles, and then after second and third jump, she has covered 7.5 miles. So option D is the correct one. Question number 3. The schedule for a music showcase includes 3 sets that are 20 minutes each and 1 set that is 40 minutes. There is a 10-minute break between each set. What is the total length of the music showcase? There are 3 sets of 20 minutes, so we will multiply 3 by 20. The total is equal to 60 minutes, and then there is a set of 40 minutes. There is a 10 minutes break between each set. Sequence will be like this. First set, after that, first break. Then second set, second break. Third set, third break. And after that, the first set of 40 minutes. So we can see there are 3 breaks of 10 minutes between these 4 sets. So we will multiply 3 by 10, which is equal to 30 minutes. If we add all the times, the total is equal to 130 minutes, which is represented by option C. So the total length of the music showcase is 130 minutes. Question number 4. Ahmed has a goal to study for a total of 10 hours this week. On Monday, he studied for 1 whole 1 by 2 hours. On Tuesday, he studied for 2 wholes 1 by 4 hours. How many hours will Ahmed have to study during the rest of this week to reach his goal? First of all, we are going to convert our mixed numbers into improper fractions, like 2 ones are 2. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So fraction is 3 by 2. Then we will convert 2 wholes 1 by 4 into improper fractions. 4 twos are 8. 8 plus 1 is equal to 9, and denominator will remain as it is. Now we need to know the total time he studied on Monday and Tuesday. To do that, we will add the fractions, and here we will have to take the LCM. The LCM of 2 and 4 is 4, so we will convert our 2 into 4. 2 twos are 4, so 3 twos are 6. If we add 6 and 9, the fraction is equal to 15 by 4. Here, if we divide 15 by 4, the mixed number is equal to 3 wholes 3 by 4. We can convert it into time directly, like 3 hours and 45 minutes, because 3 by 4 of an hour is equal to 45 minutes. We need to know that for how many hours Ahmed have to study for the rest of the week. So we will subtract 3 hours 45 minutes out of 10 hours. The answer is equal to 6 hours and 15 minutes. If we look at all our options, the options are in the form of mixed numbers. So we will convert 15 minutes into a fraction. 15 minutes of an hour can be written as 1 by 4. So option B is the correct option. Question number 5. Operate drew a figure with the characteristics listed below. Exactly 1 pair of parallel sides, exactly 2 pairs of concurrent angles, exactly 4 sides. Which type of figure did operator draw? So if we look at pentagon and hexagon, these two shapes have more than 4 sides. So option C and D are incorrect. Now we are left with option A, trapezoid, and option B, rhombus. A rhombus has two pairs of parallel lines, but a trapezoid has only one pair of parallel lines. According to the given criteria, option A is the correct one, which has 4 sides and one pair of parallel lines. It has two pairs of concurrent angles as well. Question number 6. Heavy rains caused the water level of a lake to rise 864 thousandths of a meter. Which number is equivalent to 864 thousandths? If we look at the place value chart, the place value at the left side of the decimal point is as units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. Whereas on the right side, it is as tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. So according to the given information, the number is 864 thousandths. It means we are talking about a number after the decimal. So option C and D are incorrect because there is no decimal in these two options. And if we consider option B, 8 is at tenths place, 6 is at hundreds, and 4 is at thousandths place. As the last digit of this number is at thousandths place, so we will read it as 864 thousandths. Option B is the correct one. Question number 7. A painter used 3 gallons of red paint and 2 gallons of white paint to make a road sign. There are 16 cups in a gallon. She also used 3 cups of clear paint to protect the sign. What information is not needed to determine the difference between the numbers of cups of red and white paint she used? Option A is the number of cups in a gallon. It is important information because we should know the total capacity of a gallon. Then option B is the number of cups of clear paint she used. Option C is the number of gallons of red paint she used. The last option is the number of gallons of white paint she used. As our interest is in finding difference between the numbers of cups of red and white paint she used, so we should know the amount of red and white paints. So option B is extra information that is not needed to calculate the difference. So option B is the answer over here. Question number 8, look at the three-dimensional figure below. Which of these shows the two different types of face shapes in this figure? So there are 3 sides at the front and 3 at the back. So it means there is a hexagon at the base, and we may clearly see the triangles in the hexagonal pyramid. So option C is the correct one, which has a hexagon and a triangle. So these two types of faces are making the three-dimensional figure given above. Question number 9. The graph below shows the number of newspapers sold at a store on the first 5 days in December. Based on the information in this graph, which is the best prediction of the number of newspapers sold on December 6th of the same year? If we look at the bars given in the graph, there is a pattern. The numbers of the sold newspapers are greater than 20 but less than 40. So we will follow the same pattern to find out the total number of sold newspapers on December 6th. So we can see all our options. Option C is the appropriate one. That can be our estimate because 30 is greater than 20 but less than 40. So option C is the correct one. Question number 10. Celia has a tent with 2 rectangular walls and a rectangular floor. The tent also has 2 triangular walls. Which three-dimensional figure best describes Celia's tent? Let's take all our options. The first option is rectangular prism. There is no triangle in it, so that's why it's incorrect. Option B is triangular pyramid, and there is no rectangle in it, so that's why it is wrong. We are left with option C, that is a triangular prism, and option D, pentagonal prism. In pentagonal prism, there is no triangle, so that's why option D is also incorrect. Option C has 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. So option C is the correct one because it is representing the given information correctly. Question number 11. Mr. Smith bought a package of 80 erasers for his students. He put an equal number of erasers in each of 22 bags. Which statement best describes the greatest number of erasers Mr. Smith could have put in each bag? So this is the question of division. We will divide 80 by 22. The answer is 3 remainder 14. So in other words, we can say that In each bag, there are 3 erasers and 14 erasers were left over, which is our option C. Question number 12. Alida will use 6 different wires for a science project. The fractions represent the diameters of these wires in inches. Which list shows the diameters of the wires in order from least to greatest? First of all, we are going to find out the LCM to make the denominators same, and the LCM is equal to 32. Now we have to convert all our denominators into 32. So here 16 2s are 32, so we'll multiply 7 by 2 as well. The fraction is equal to 14 by 32. Avoid the numbers written with the fractions. I will explain these numbers later to you. Now we have 1 by 2. The equivalent fraction of 1 by 2 is equal to 16 by 32. Then 3 by 8, 8 4s are 32 and 3 4s are 12. 9 by 32 will be written as it is because we already have 32 in the denominator, so we don't need to multiply it by any number. Then 5 by 16, the equivalent fraction of 5 by 16 is 10 by 32 and 15 by 32 will be written as it is. Now I have written numbers with the fractions to rank them. We will compare the fractions according to their numerators because denominators are same. So here 9 is smallest of all. So 9 by 32 is our first fraction because we have to order the fractions from smallest to greatest. So we know that 9 by 32 is the smallest fraction. So it will be written at the first position, which is not done in option A and C. So these two options are incorrect. We will focus on option B and D. So 9 by 32 is at the first position. Now 10 by 32 is at the second position. But we will not write 10 by 32 as it is. Instead of that, we will write the original fraction of 10 by 32. As it was the second last fraction, so the original fraction of this is 5 by 16. So it will be written over here. Now 12 by 32 is at third position and the original fraction of 12 by 32 is 3 by 8. So it will be written at the third position. Similarly, we will arrange rest of the fractions. So the option D is the list which shows the diameters of the wires in order from least to greatest. Question number 13. A house painter mixed 5 gal of blue paint with every 9 gal of yellow paint in order to make a green paint. Which ratio of gallons of blue paint to gallons of yellow paint will make the same shade of green paint? So we know the ratio of blue paint to yellow paint is 5:9. Now we will use the same ratio to find out the answer. If we multiply both the numbers by 6, the answer is 30:54, which is our option A. If we look at the other options, we cannot get 6 and 27 by multiplying any number with 5 because 6 and 27 do not come in the table of 5. So option B and D are incorrect. 5 2s are 10 but 9 2s are 18, not 45. So option C is also incorrect. So only option A is the correct one. The ratio of yellow paint to green paint is 30:54. Question number 14. There are 90 girls and 60 boys in the 6th grade at a middle school. Of these students, 9 girls and 3 boys write left-handed. What percentage of the 6th graders at this middle school write left-handed? So first of all, we have to calculate the total number of students who write left-handed. That is equal to 12. And now we need to find out the total number of students. As there are 90 girls and 60 boys, the total number of students are 150. To find out the percentage, we will divide 12 by the total number of students, that is 150, and multiply it by 100. The answer is equal to 8. So the total percentage of the 6th graders at this middle school write left-handed is 8%. Question number 15. A team of workers took 167.3 hours to complete a task. A smaller team of workers will complete the same task, but it will take them 1.25 times as long as it took the first team. Based on this information, which statement is true? So if we look at all our options, we have to find out the total number of hours that the smaller team of workers will take to complete the same task as the team of workers took. To find that out, we will simply multiply the number of hours that the team of workers took, which is 167.3 by 1.25. So the answer is 209.125 hours. So option D is the correct one. The task will take the smaller team of workers 209.125 hours to complete because 167.3 multiplied by 1.25 is equal to 209.125. Question number 16. A company spent 32% of its annual budget developing a new machine. What fraction of the company's budget was spent developing the new machine? So first of all, we are going to convert 32% into a fraction that is equal to 32 by 100. Now we will simplify this. Both numbers come in the table of 4. 4 8s are 32 and 4 25s are 100. So company spends 8 by 25 of its budget to develop the new machine. Question number 17. Which list shows the temperatures in order from coldest to warmest in degrees Fahrenheit? We know the negative numbers represent the cold temperature and the positive numbers represent the warm temperatures. So if we look at our option A, it's incorrect because the positive number is written in the center of the negative numbers, which is making the sequence wrong. In option B, minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit is coldest temperature, so it should be written at the first position. But here we have minus 5 degrees Fahrenheit, so this is also incorrect. Option C, this is the correct one because minus 10 is the coldest temperature, then minus 5 is a bit warmer than minus 10, and after that we have 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and the warmest temperature, which is 8 degrees Fahrenheit, is written at the end. So option C is the correct option and correct sequence as well. So option D is also considered wrong because again a warm temperature is written in the center of the cold temperatures. So question number 18. Which statement about 3 multiplied by 2 by 3 must be true? So let's solve it first. If we multiply 3 by 2 by 3, the answer is equal to 2 because 3 is cancelled with 3, so 2 is left. So option A is the product is between 3 and 4, which is wrong because 2 doesn't lie between 3 and 4. Option B is the product is less than 2 by 3. If we convert 2 by 3 into decimals, the answer is 0.67. So 2 is not less than 0.67. So option B is also incorrect. Option C is the product is between 2 by 3 and 3. So that is the correct option because 2 lies between 0.67 and 3. So option C is our correct option here, and option D is the product is greater than 4, which is wrong because 2 is smaller than 4. Question number 19. Yuna is researching the effect of education on annual income. A summary of her research is shown in the table. Based on the data in the table, how much more does a person with an associate's degree earn than a person with only a high school diploma over 10 years? So this is a question of comparisons. To find that out, we will subtract the annual income of a person with high school diploma, which is $33,904, out of the annual income of a person with associate's degree. That is equal to 40,820. The answer is $6,916. Now the data of 1 year is given in the table, but we need the earning of a person for 10 years. To find that out, we will multiply the answer by 10. The total is equal to $69,160, which is our option D. Question number 20. The dot plot shows the number of touchdowns a football team scored in 10 games last season. Which statement best describes the data shown in the dot plot? Option A is that peak of the data is at 5, which is incorrect because we can clearly see the peak of the data is at 2. Option B is the data are clustered from 0 to 2. So this is the correct option because we can clearly see the data is clustered from 0 to 2. And we will take this value at 5 as an outlier. Basically, outlier is a value that lies outside or away from the rest of the set of the values. So option B is the correct one. But let's check our option C and D as well. Option C is the data distribution has no gaps, which is incorrect. We can clearly see the gaps on the dot plot. Now the last option is the data distribution is symmetrical. Let me show you an example of a symmetrical dot plot in which equal number of values are on the both sides of the peak. But the dot plot that is shown to us is not an example of symmetrical dot plot. So that's why option B is the correct one. The data is clustered from 0 to 2. Question number 21. The box plot summarized the attendance for the spring musical and the fall musical. Each musical was performed for 6 evenings. Which statement best describes the data represented in the box plots? Let's discuss the box plot first. The first value or first dot is representing the minimum value of the data. From first dot to second dot, we have our first quartile. 25% of the data is represented through this line. Then in the center or the next dot is representing the average of the data, which is median. And here we have our second quartile as well. The next place is the third quartile. From the third dot to fourth dot, we have our third quartile, and again 25% of the data is presented over here. Then at last we have the maximum value of the data, and here we have our fourth quartile as well. Again, 25% of the data is shown through this line as well. Now let's check all our options. Option A is the range in attendance for the fall musical is 85. To find that out, we will look at the second box plot. The formula of the range is equal to maximum value minus minimum value. So the maximum value of fall musical is 225 and the minimum value is 140. After subtracting these two numbers, we have 85 left. So option A is the correct one, but we will check other options as well. The interquartile range for the spring musical is 45. To calculate the interquartile range, we will subtract our first quartile out of third. So the value of the third quartile is 195 and the value of the first quartile is 135. If we subtract these two numbers, we get 40. But here in option B, it's mentioned it should be 45, so which is incorrect. So option C is for half the evenings at the fall musical, the attendance was less than 160 people. As we have discussed that each quartile is representing 25% of the data. So before the median and after the median, 50% of the data is represented. So look at the box plot of the fall musical. Here, the median of the fall musical is 165, not 160. So half of the attendance is less than 165, not 160 people. So option C is also incorrect. The last option is for half the evenings at the spring musical, the attendance was between 155 and 200 people. So now look at the median of spring musical. It is at 160. So 50% data is represented after the median. So the attendance is between 160 to 200, not 155 to 200. So option D is also incorrect. Only option A is the correct one. The range in attendance for the fall musical is 85. Question number 22. What is the area in square centimeters of the triangle pictured below? So we know the formula of the area of a triangle is equal to base multiplied by height divided by 2. So length of the base is 12 centimeter and height is equal to 16 centimeter. After putting the values in the formula and solving it, we get 96. So we can say that area of the triangle is 96 square centimeters, which is our option C. Question number 23. How many pages do I turn over to go from page 33 to page 66? Odd numbered pages are on the right. First, we will calculate the difference between 33 and 66, that is equal to 33. The information is given in the question that odd numbered pages are on the right side. So page number 33 is on the right side here. We know the books are printed on the both sides of the pages. So we will calculate the half of 33, which is equal to 16.5. But we are going to round it to the whole number, that is equal to 17. So I will turn over 17 pages from page number 33 to page 66. That is our option A. Question number 24. On Sunday, Dog started recording how many minutes he had read for the week. He also started recording how many minutes he had practiced the trumpet for the week. The table below shows the totals for the first 4 days. Both patterns continue. Which statement about the patterns created by the numbers of minutes Dog has spent reading and practicing his trumpet this week is true? So we can see two patterns given in the tables. Like in total minutes spent on reading, there is a pattern of adding 12 in the previous number to get the next one. So it's a table of 12. and the total minutes spent practicing trumpet, there is a table of 15. So now let's check all our options. Option A is the number 90 will appear in both patterns, which is wrong because 90 will appear in the table of 15, but it's not a multiple of 12. So it will not appear in the table of 12. So option A is incorrect. Option B is both patterns switch back and forth between even and odd numbers, which is again incorrect because we can clearly see there is no odd number in the table of 12. All the numbers are even. So it's not right. Option C is the sum of the corresponding terms in the patterns is always divisible by 3. So we will calculate it by adding the corresponding terms. Like 12 plus 15 is equal to 27, 24 plus 30 is equal to 54. Similarly, we will find out the next two sums. So we can clearly see that all the sums are divisible by 3. So option C is the correct one. The last option is the difference between corresponding terms in the patterns is always a multiple of 6. If we subtract 12 out of 15, the answer is equal to 3. That is not a multiple of 6. So option D is also incorrect. Only the option C is the correct one. Question number 25. Shella put a new light bulb into a light socket. The light bulb was on for 24 hours a day and burned out after 1806 hours. Shella did the work below to determine how many days the light bulb lasted. Shella needs to finish the calculation to find how long in days the light bulb lasted. Which statement about Shella's calculations is true? After dividing 1806 by 24, the numbers can be written in the form of mixed number. Like 24 is our denominator, so it will remain as it is. The remainder 6 will be written as our numerator and 75 is our whole number part. So the mixed number will be 75 whole 6 by 24. Now we can simplify the fraction 6 by 24 if we divide it by 6. So the simplified mixed number is equal to 75 wholes 1 by 4. We know that 1 by 4 can be written as 25. But as it is written in the form of fraction, so we will write it after the decimal. So the answer is 75.25, which is our option B. Shella completed the calculation by dividing 6 by 24 to get 0.25 and found that the light bulb lasted 75.25 days. Question number 26. Dennis started hiking at sea level. He recorded his starting position as 0. He climbed upwards and his elevation increased by 400 feet. He recorded his ending position as 400. Using the same method of measuring, a second hiker had a starting position of minus 40. Which statement describes the starting position of the second hiker? So let's check all our options. Option A is the second hiker started 40 feet below the sea level. We know the sea level is at 0 and 40 feet below the 0 is minus 40, which is our correct option because this is the starting position of second hiker. But we may check the other options as well. Option B is the second hiker started 40 feet above the sea level. So sea level is at 0 and 0 plus 40 is equal to plus 40, which will be the starting position of second hiker. That is incorrect. Option C is the second hiker started 40 feet below the ending position of Dennis. Ending position of Dennis is 400 and 40 feet below than that is equal to plus 360. The last option is the second hiker started 40 feet above the ending position of Dennis. So again, 400 is the ending position of Dennis, and if we add 40 into it, the starting position of the second hiker will be 440, which is incorrect. So here option B, C, and D are not correct. Only the option A is. The second hiker started 40 feet below the sea level. Question number 27. Benny asked 20 students how many states besides Louisiana they had visited. The line plot below shows the results. Which statement best describes the distribution of the data from Benny's survey? So let's write the number of the students at the top. Like 2 students visited no state, 3 students visited 1 state, 5 students visited 2 states. Similarly, we can interpret the data by using the number of the crosses. Option A is half of the students had visited exactly 2 states. We can clearly see 5 crosses are at 2, so 5 students have seen 2 states. 5 is not half of 20, so option A is incorrect. Option B is half of the students had visited 2 or more states. So if we add the numbers from 2 to 7, 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 15. 15 is not half of 20. So that's why option B is also incorrect. Option C is half of the students had visited two or fewer states. So let's count the number of the crosses at 2 and less than it, like 1 and 0. So 5 plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 10. 10 is half of 20. So option C is the correct one. Half of the students had visited two or fewer states. Question number 28. The table below shows the number of gallons of gasoline used and the miles driven for different types of cars. Which type of car had the highest number of miles per gallon? To calculate that, we have to divide the number of miles that a car has driven by the number of gallons of gasoline used. So let's calculate it for A first. 106 divided by 5 is equal to 21.2. Similarly, we will calculate it for the rest of the cars. So here we can clearly see the value of car A is highest of all, which is 21.2. So option A is the correct one. Type A had the highest number of miles per gallon. Question number 29. A swim instructor had a contest to see how many seconds her students could hold their breath underwater. The results from the contest are shown in the list below. Which histogram represents the results from the contest? So we can see four bars in the histograms. The first bar is representing the values which lie from 0 to 20. The second bar is representing the values which lie from 21 to 40. Similarly, third bar is showing the data from 41 to 60. And the last bar is representing the values which are from 61 to 80. So let's do the numbering on the data. 17 lies between 0 to 20. So first bar will represent one value. Then 34 and 40 lie from 21 to 40. So second bar will represent two values. Now 41, 50, 50, 53, 56, 57 and 58. There are seven values. So seven values lie from 41 to 60. So the value of the bar 3 is 7. Then 64 and 70 lie between 61 to 80. So the ending point of bar 4 is 2. Option D is the correct presentation of the data. Here we can see the first bar is ending at 1. Then second bar is ending at 2. Third bar is representing 7 values. And the last bar is also representing 2 values. So that's why option D is the correct option. Question number 30. John was ranked 5th from the top and 16th from the bottom after a test. How many students were there in his class? So if we write the numbers manually, he was 5th from the top and the same position is 16th from the end. So we can count the numbers manually. Otherwise, we will add 5 and 15 because 16th is the same position as 5. So 15 plus 5 is equal to 20. So there are 20 students in the class, which is our option B. I hope you like my video, so don't forget to like and comment on it and subscribe my channel.